So hello, it's me, Braggy. At the moment it's thundering in Derby, but it makes me think, what would our ancestors think about thunder and lightning? Well, I suppose we take it for granted when it happens these days. But I always find these sort of thoughts and ideas and questions to be fascinating. What would our ancestors, what would the Saxons or the Vikings, or if you go further back in time to the Celtics or the people of the Bronze Age or the Stone Age, the Romans, what would they have thought about it? Now, from my perspective, being a modern Viking, I would always associate thunder and lightning with the god Thor, or to the English, to the Saxons, the god Thunar. And I hope it does thunder whilst I'm recording this video. Well, what do you think? And what are your thoughts when you are hearing it thunder? What comes into your mind? It does make you think. I would say that, ancestors will probably be mystified by what it is. So they created these stories. Now, I don't know too many stories about thunder in the myths of time. I just know about Thor being a Viking. So in our faith, being a Norse pagan, we would say, oh, that's Thor waving his hammer about, Mjolnir. Perhaps riding his chariot with his two goats through the sky. But what do you think? They can't beat a good thunderstorm, can you? I mean, a good thunderstorm is just brilliant, especially at night. I can recall a few weeks back, probably about 6 weeks back, when I was driving back on a Sunday night from my girlfriend's, and I was driving up the A38. It was about 10 o'clock, and it was thundering in the distance over Derby, and it was dramatic and it was epic. The sheer power, the energy of the lightning strikes. Because it also rained quite heavy, it was quite dangerous on the A38, so I had to slow down. But we do take weather and thunder and lightning for granted. And luckily it's not thundered so far, so it's just a very weak passing storm. It's because we've had a lot of hot weather. But I do love a good storm. I like to imagine I'm on a boat looking out of the window when it's stormy. I don't know why. Perhaps I was a sailor in a past life. And I think the garden's looking a bit wild. I need to mow the lawn. But yes, it is a fascinating subject, thinking about what our ancestors would think. Of course, we can't really go back in time to say to, some Anglo-Saxon, some Viking, oh, what do you make of, what do you think about storms or the clouds? Which is another aspect of this subject. What would the ancestors of ours think about clouds? One of my favourite things with clouds is to look at clouds and to guess what kind of shape they are. Faces and animal shapes and all sorts of shapes seen clouds. Of course, today it's quite plain and overcast, so you're not getting those dramatic clouds where you do see shapes. But it does make you think. I can just imagine somewhere out there is Thor waving his hammer about. He's off to go to another realm to kick some giant's ass, beat a giant. And so I like to think of him riding through the sky in his chariot. And that is why we have thunder at the moment. But of course, we know that's not fundamentally true in science. We know it's because of the fact that it's been too warm and there's too much energy in the atmosphere. There you go. Perfect timing. All we need now is it to start raining and me to get wet, and it'll be lovely. And it is very warm today. It's about 26, 27 in the Midlands in the UK. But again, it's a fascinating subject. I often lie at night thinking, oh, what would our ancestors think about the stars and the moon and the sun? Now, in traditional theories and thoughts, well, the sun always represented the man, the husband, and the moon always represented mother. It's very much a dualism way of thinking, that the combination of the two go together, man and woman, and perhaps the stars are the children. And there's many, many stories and folk tales and legends about how the stars I bought them, which is not what I'm here to do today. If we go in this direction, this is looking over Derby. Oh, look, you see a bit of my house there. And 2 pigeons. They're probably trying to mate. Oh, they are lucky. But it does make you think, what did our ancestors think? Because we can't go back in time to, 1,000 years to speak to our ancestors, to say to them, if we could speak, Saxon or Viking or Norse, we could say, what do you think? It'll be very cool to have those conversations, I think. But unfortunately, we can't have those conversations. We can only guess. We can only speculate about such things. And I must say, all this greenery in front of you looks quite cool. It's very true about trees. They're not one colour. They're different shades of green. I'm a model maker, so I make quite a few trees in my time, and I never make trees the same colour. Always try to get dark greens and light greens. This is a bit of a subject from this video, but yes, I mean, it makes you think about what did our ancestors think about the stars? I like to often lie on my balcony, which I'm standing on at the moment at night, and look out at the skies and the stars. Think about, what did our ancestors think about such wonderful things, about the stars themselves? And I like to lie in my hammock and look for satellites. You do see quite a few when you look. And of course, we're going through the moment very soon where we're going to have a lot of shooting stars, which is also fascinating. And what would our ancestors think about shooting stars? I'd love to know your thoughts on this. I really would. I thought I'd show my face on camera. I've been up since midnight, so I'm a little bit tired. And my garden needs a bit of a tidy up, but I'm always busy editing and working on videos. But these are the sort of questions I often think to myself. But what questions do you have? What do you think about our ancestors and what they thought about? Because we take the sky, the sky and the stars and the clouds for granted every day. But what would life be without them? What would life be without the stars? And again, you can look at the stars, you can make shapes on the stars. I mean, let's face it, we've got the cosmos, the hunter and the plough and all these star signs, which kind of do look like what they talk about. And again, a very, very old thing, but it does make you think. And I hope you find this video to be interesting. And it's one of these impromptu recording videos where I've not really got a script. I've been thinking about this subject for a while, so I got a vague idea what I want to talk about. Well, more than a vague idea. I got an idea what I want to talk about, and I hope I've covered it in this video. And as you can see now, it's beginning to rain as well, which is even nicer. So let's just fit the camera one last look at the garden. We can hope it may thunder. If it'll thunder now, that'd be wonderful. But I don't think we're that lucky. I mean, there's some interesting shapes there with that in the clouds. Oh yes, thinking about what our ancestors thought in the past is a fascinating thing to do. If you're new to the channel, I am Braggy. I am a modern day Viking. Although Viking is a job description more than a faith, you could say. If I'm going to say correctly, I'd say I'm Norse, but I tend to use Viking more because everybody's heard of Vikings. If you type in Vikings and Norse into a search program to find out the scores when it comes to how many people are searching for such things, not many people look for the terms Norse, but they do look for the term Viking. Again, that's one of the reasons why we didn't go down the route on this channel of being Anglo-Saxons, because not so many people choose to be Anglo-Saxons. I mean, I read an interesting thing the other day about the kings of England, that more people know the kings of England from William the Conqueror, but very few people know the Anglo-Saxon kings in order, which I find a bit shocking, but then again, I'm not surprised. But that is a video for another day. So if you like this video, give us a subscribe, and until the very next time, whilst it still thunders, I bid ye farewell, and stay safe, wherever you may be in the world. And in the wise words of our former late host, Egil Thorson, stay groovy and onwards and upwards. Goodbye.